Let me tell you something that will make you uncomfortable. If studying was optional, you wouldn't do it. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. And the scary part is, your brain already knows this. That's why every time you sit down to study, your mind suddenly remembers everything else you could be doing. Messages, videos, random thoughts from 2020, anything except the book in front of you. This isn't laziness, and it's not about starting. It's about escape. Your brain is trying to escape a future version of you it doesn't want to become, the tired, pressured, uncertain version that studying represents. Here's the truth nobody says clearly. Studying is the only activity where the reward exists in a different version of you. Not now, not today, some future you. And your brain does not care about that person. Your brain lives in the present. It protects comfort. It avoids identity pain. So when you force yourself to study the usual way, sit straight, focus, be serious. Your brain reads it as a threat, and it fights back. That's why willpower collapses. So here's the shift. Stop treating studying like work. Treat it like evidence. Evidence of who you are, because humans don't act consistently for goals. They act consistently for identity. Right now, your identity is flexible. I'll study later. I'll catch up. I work better under pressure. Those stories keep you safe. So we're going to break them, not with motivation, but with irreversible proof. Next time you sit down, don't aim to understand. Don't aim to finish. Don't aim to focus. Aim to create physical evidence that studying happened. 1 page filled, 5 questions attempted, 1 paragraph rewritten in your own words. Even if it's bad, especially if it's bad. Because once evidence exists, your brain can't say, I didn't study today. That lie dies. Now here's something most people don't realize. Your brain doesn't fear effort. It fears open-ended effort. Infinite syllabus. Too much backlog. Everything is important. That's what triggers shutdown. So before you sit down, you must close the universe. Decide in advance what studying will not include today. Not this subject, not revision, not perfection. When the brain sees boundaries, it relaxes. Now let's talk about time, because this is where people sabotage themselves. Most students try to study when they're already mentally drained. After scrolling, after socializing, after a long day. By then, your decision-making battery is empty. So studying feels 10 times heavier than it actually is. The fix isn't more discipline, it's earlier placement. Study before the things that drain you, not after. Even 20 minutes earlier changes resistance completely. Now focus. The most misunderstood word in productivity. Focus is not something you have. It's something that emerges when the brain is forced to respond. Reading feels hard because it's passive. Your brain can escape while your eyes move. Writing traps the mind. Solving traps the mind. Explaining out loud traps the mind. So if you can't focus, switch the action, not the subject. Next, let's kill the myth of long sessions. Long sessions don't build consistency. They build fear. Your brain associates studying with exhaustion, so it avoids it next time. Short, repeatable sessions build trust. 10 minutes that actually happens beats 2 hours that only exist in planning. Now here's a forcing function almost no one uses. Delay quitting, not starting. Instead of deciding how long you'll study, decide how long you're not allowed to quit. 10 minutes, no escape. After that, you're free. Most of the time, you won't stop. Not because you're motivated, but because resistance already peaked and collapsed. Now here's something that silently destroys consistency, and almost no one talks about it. Studying breaks when you try to store information instead of extract it. Most people sit down and push information in, read, highlight, watch. That feels productive, but it keeps the brain passive. The brain doesn't strengthen when information enters. It strengthens when information is pulled out. So flip the direction. Before you open notes, ask yourself one question. What do I already remember without looking? Write that down first, even if it's wrong, especially if it's wrong. Then check. Every gap you expose becomes a hook for memory. Every mistake becomes a signal. This turns studying into an active hunt instead of a boring intake process. You're no longer studying. You're testing your own thinking. And when the brain is challenged to retrieve, it stays engaged without force. That's why this method feels sharper, faster, and strangely addictive. You stop waiting to feel ready because the task itself pulls you in. Now the most dangerous habit of all, mental negotiation. I'll start after this. I'll do extra tomorrow. Just today won't matter. Every negotiation trains your brain to delay. So you need one rule that ends discussion. When the time hits, you sit. No mood check, no emotional vote. Even if the session is bad, especially if it's bad, because bad study days still count. Skipped days don't. And slowly something changes. Your brain stops panicking. Studying stops feeling like a threat. Resistance shows up weaker each time. Not because you love studying, but because escape stopped working. And once escape stops working, action becomes normal. That's how you actually force yourself to study. Not with hype, not with quotes, but by removing exits, shrinking fear, and leaving evidence behind. And once you do that consistently, there's no going back.